Okay, FM 101.7.
Also, they call Most Reverend Philip Name, president of Catholic Bishop Conference. So, Most Reverend, good morning.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
I'm good, and I hope you're well this morning as well.
I'm fine, yes.
Good. This morning, the Catholic Bishop Conference is trending, but trending for the good reasons. So, because we understand when this CSE, Comprehensive Sexual Education matter came up, there was an uproar everywhere in Ghana. People came against it, except a few people who were so supporting it. Now, I understand the Catholic Bishop Conference met, and they've called on the president to ensure that it is not even introduced in the future, anywhere in the future. Now, I don't understand why this call again, because the president has come out to give an assurance that he will not do anything untoward. So is there any suspicion, or you think that, Ghana, people can just smuggle something through the back door? Why this repeated call?
Let me begin by saying that if you actually read the communique, you will realize that we started by commending the president for saying that this thing will not come on during his time. Is it right or not?
Yeah, that is so.
So I expected that you would have mentioned that.
I was only referring to the front page of the Times.
Yeah, because they belong together. We thanked and commended him for his resolve not to let this thing happen. But we are saying that there are other things which were kind of in preparation for its happening. We want the president to eliminate all those possibilities. That's all we are saying. And besides, even if he is re-elected, he has only 4 more years to go. But Ghana as a country, we suppose, will be there always. And as you mentioned, the uproar that greeted the media insinuation that such a thing was coming is indicative of the fact that it is Ghanaian culture and tradition doesn't want anything like that. So we are only backing what we think is the voice of the people from the uproar that greeted it. So we don't want any political, perhaps, compromise, perhaps because of some monies which were received for this program. We are saying that we believe him, we trust him as president, but he's not an eternal president. So he should ensure that this, whatever was in the background, should be eliminated. That's what we are saying.
So was there some practical commitment that you were looking for from government to ensure that at least you tie government down? Like you said, this is not a forever president. His term will definitely end at a point. So is there some commitment that you are looking for on the part of government, or to bind the nation to say that we will not go on this path again?
Well, it's something like that. But I want to go back to what I just mentioned before, that the uproar indicates that both Ghanaian culture and tradition abhors the very notion of it. And therefore, we think that it is something that any political party that comes to power must respect totally. Actually, we said it is indicative of what normally happens if something is imposed from outside. If you read the communique, this is actually what we said. Yes. And therefore, whether it is money or anything that the outsiders who want it happen in our country, we feel that every ruler should listen more to his compatriots and not to whatever some people outside there may want to happen in Ghana. That's what we are saying.
I see. So that is what I'm even asking, that beyond just the commitment that the president has given, because we understand that there's a history to this CSE, that there was a treaty, a convention that we went to sign And at the time when we signed the convention, there was even a different government in power.
Exactly.
And then it's been enforced
and
under.
we think that when they signed that thing, they did not actually even understand the whole implications of it. So that is what we're saying, that this uproar should make them go back and reflect that they signed something without due consultation of the Ghanaian people.
So that's why, most Reverend.
And I believe that Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo is perhaps now more determined not to let such a thing happen, perhaps because he has educated himself on it now. But he's not just an individual. We are dealing with the governance of a country. And if previous governments have committed Ghana, he should do what it takes to remove that commitment in order to respect what he knows his countrymen and women do not like.
So that's what I'm saying, that it appears that he has given the commitment, but the binding more is on Ghana and not a president. So what will you do beyond just getting this commitment from the president that we will not do it? But what if the president is not there? How are you ensuring that as a nation we are committed to not returning this?
Yeah, but that is the reason why we are appealing to him to see what it takes to reverse whatever commitment was made earlier. He is on the throne now, and he can do it. He has also seen the evidence, what Ghanaians say they don't like. So he cannot just keep quiet. The commitment to the Ghanaian people is not enough. He must come out with practical measures to show Ghanaians that this will not only happen during his watch, but it won't happen again.
But most Reverend, another issue is also that you refer to Ghanaian tradition and custom and all that. People have also argued that there are lots of rape and defilement cases. There are lots of sexual violence cases. There are so many cases. If you go to Gov't, every year it keeps going up. Now, did our tradition and custom and religion not see this? And what have our tradition and custom and religion done to prevent this that CSE is supposed to educate people to prevent? It appears that the argument that people make is that where was religion when people were being abused and all that? And then now that there's education to support that, you are fighting against that. How will you respond to that?
We are not fighting against the education. And actually, that's why I say that you, the media, you should actually take on what we are doing now. Your duty is to educate the people. Sex education has always been within the Ghana education system. Sex education has always been there, but it was always age compatible. You are not teaching people what belongs only to people who are married. You are not teaching them to children. And perhaps it is because of what the media has done to society now, giving people ideas of what they can do. That is causing all these rape cases and all of that. Traditional society abhorred it, and they dealt with it instantly. They dealt with it instantly. But if the media is now spreading pornography and all that, that is what is leading to this. And we are saying that sexuality, the use of sex belongs to marriage life. People who are not married cannot just get up and start making use of women or men as sources of pleasure for them. God did not create the man and woman or the human person in sexual differentiation for nothing. He also gave them the order, increase and multiply. It means that sexuality has its context in marriage. If you are not living a married life, you don't have the use of sexuality if you don't want to disobey God. So this is what we are saying, that you cannot make religion or our attempt to say, let us come back to what pleases God and what our traditions always safeguarded. Our traditions always safeguarded. People were taught about what belongs to intimacy. That is where we had these rites of initiation. When people were old enough to enter into the marriage contract, these traditional rites of initiation taught them not only what they could do, but what were also taboos, and which they had to comply by. So those people who argue like that, they are wrong. They are definitely wrong. It is the media now opening everything to people who are not in the state to make use of sex. That is what is causing all of this.
So, most Reverend, are there any timelines to this, or for now it's a plea to the president, so you allow him that discretion?
Yes, it's a plea. It's just a plea to the president. There are no timelines.
Okay. Most Reverend, we thank you this morning for having a conversation with us. Thank you. Abusa boy, I am Most Reverend Philip Name, President of Catholic Bishop Conference, and Natural Coma, which say, so our comprehensive sexual education once I'm by a CSW, CSE, and Kofobe break Casa any idea, no, which I say almost almost dear.
Okay, FM 101.7.